Hey Tubes, Jonathan's wrong here. Tooth on budget. Tooth with bad lighting. I thought the lighting was way better. Trying to snuggle a cat, so probably can't see her. Say hi, Liberty. That's the back of her head, if you can even see anything. Probably can't see a darn thing. Okay. Oh, always in search of light. Oh. Anyway, you know how I like to start my videos quick and professional. Get right to business as soon as possible. He said jokingly. Can you tell I just woke up? Oh. Anyway. Oh, I love how you can see all the gray in the sunlight. Can you see her now? See an ear. Hey, Liberty. Oh! So anyway, watching a couple of videos and last night, and one of my recurring dreams I keep having is one of like we're all on the run and there's things after us, like, you know, giant, oh gosh, big robotic machinery things. You know, don't know what's inside. Could be humans inside. Could be, you know, cyborgs or like or like whatever. You know, who knows? Whatever. But anyway, they always come in from the ocean in the skies, and they come and they just take over. And I had another one of those dreams last night. I've been having them a lot lately. It's a recurring dream. The only thing that's really disturbing about it, well, the dream itself is extremely disturbing because it's very 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 lifelike. Um, is it's a recurring dream, but it gets different. It almost like he headbutts. It almost like articulates. It like becomes clearer almost. Okay, have you ever seen Prince of Darkness by John Carpenter? John Carpenter is one of my favorite directors. He did, of course, They Live. He also did The Thing, Escape from New York. Uh, just just name a good gritty movie during the '80s, and John Carpenter directed it. Um, oh, Muffin. Sorry, I just got a cat flop on me. It it baffles me sometimes that people don't realize that, like, animals, especially cats, understand English. Like, why would they not? You know, they're clearly intelligent. They clearly know what noises mean. If you say the same noises over and over again, they're gonna decipher it. You just gotta treat a cat like respectfully. I don't know. People don't know how to treat animals because they treat them like dumb animals, and it's like, dude, you're the dumb animal. You know, treat it with a little more respect than the cat or whatever might listen to you. But I've never had problems with animals. Anyway, blah blah blah. Sorry, I am totally rambling. I just woke up in a weird way. Um, so here I am. Okay, so back to the dream. So this one was particularly weird because no one was listening to the thing I was saying. I kept being like, "We gotta go." You know, I kept like I abandoned several people because they couldn't hang. You know, they couldn't follow me where I was going. They couldn't keep their mouths shut. They couldn't not freak out. You know, like when it was time to walk and not run, they would start running. When it was time to, get the hell out of Dodge, they'd freeze. When it was time to be quiet and be stealthy, they'd start, what we what. just as people are want to do, and I just kept abandoning these people. I just kept being, like I'd give them one shot, and then they, that's it. Like I one of the I remember I was walking with this woman. I knew her in the dream, but like looking back on it now, she looked like the like Jackie from Roseanne. Um, but anyway, so I was like walking with her, trying to keep her alive, and something was watching us, and she started running, and I just kept walking. There's nothing I could do for her at that point, so I just continued to walk, and she got grabbed. There's another part where we got to a fence. We had to go under the fence, and like they didn't want to, and they panicked and they got nabbed. But anyway, uh, where I eventually ended up, this is where it gets bizarre, and I need to remember this because this was strange. So they were giants, and they were of different types of species. Like some were humanoid, some were insectoid, some were animal, but they were huge. They were enormous. Like I was in comparison, if I was a giant, how I was in the dream was about like yay big. Like so small that they could be looking at me like without looking at me. What these things were, I have no idea. They built a temple where I was, and I was trying to escape that temple. Now, one of the things that they were doing was even amongst each other, to make better subordinates, the leader would, even his own people, basically kill them, and like make them into like zombie servants. Like the original, like if you look into um zombie mythology, that's what the original zombie was a servant. Not, burns. You basically make a voodoo, a hoodun, would make a voodoo priest or priestess would make a would make a vessel out of a person. They basically clear their personality and put them in a state of like living death, which is what it like. It's not the modern zombie is something that has died and is now alive and ravaging, like running around at full speed, just ravaging everything in its path. The original zombie by voodoo mythology is someone made dead, but not even dead, and just into a state of unlife. So life and death's not even a part of it. Like they're not returning someone from the dead; they're making a slave. Um, and that's what zombieism really is. If you look into actual voodoo, which you should. It's very interesting. How a lot of the magic works is that they call themselves horses. This is the translation. It's like chevron, or whatever. But anyway, the translation means horse because they're basically ridden by the spirit. So the spirit comes into them and rides them, and they have a whole pantheon of spirits within the voodoo religion. Oh, not a very comfortable way to hold a phone. Oh, that's good, right? That works. See my hands and fingers. Um. Anyway, so yeah, so this awful dream, and okay, I'm remembering more and more and more as I go. But how it all started is they were projecting. It was almost like a commercial, and they were projecting it onto the entirety of the sky, and I was like, well, this isn't good. Um, me still being me in the dream. Um, you know, I looked out the window and it's like, no, 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 no. I was trying to call people, and I couldn't get in touch with a lot of people. I called Pia, told her I loved her, and I tried to call who I could, but I couldn't get in touch with anybody. And of course, I couldn't get anyone to do what I wanted them to do. Uh, like at that point I was in Boston and I was escaping with two people and I ended up leaving both those people because they weren't doing what I wanted them to do. One I immediately perceived as a threat, and I like knocked him unconscious or something and threw him in a dumpster. It was brutal. It was full on like we got to do this, and if you're not gonna do what I say, then see you later. And I left everyone. I left every single person. I left all of them. It's terrible. I'm not I'm not proud of this, but this is what happened in the dream. So near the end of the dream, or before I woke up, I was in this massive temple, huge temple. Like I said, I was so small I could be right next to them and they wouldn't even see me. So there and like I said, there was a weird thing with the zombies, and there's this the leader was explaining to like one of his subordinates that's what he did to his brother, and he tried to call over his brother, and his brother was just zombied, and the guy was like, I don't like this, and the leader was like, well, tough. So that's just that whole weird thing and weird exchange, and so even amongst them, they were not, stuff was falling apart, but the things that they had, these giant, giant, huge military vehicles, they were so huge. I could see them, coming up on the beach with some binoculars from Boston, and then I ended up in Hull. All of a sudden, you know how dreams are. Sometimes you teleport. Um, but yeah, I just and all in Hull, all the major choke points. Where if you've ever, of course you haven't, but the town of Hull, Nantasket, choke point city. Being tactically minded, this is one of the easiest towns to cut off. It'd be so it's a peninsula, and it's a peninsula. It's a I don't know if you saw that. I just spat everywhere, but it's basically hills that got filled in with sand, and it's like a hilly, shapy, part of it's a modern land bridge. It's just like I said, choke point city. There's several points where it's literally one street, and you could just cut off that whole area. And you might have heard me talk about it if you watched that video when I was locked out of Hull. But anyway, so I ended up escaping that whole situation, and then I was, you know, more escaping, and then I woke up, just not in a good way. Yeah, sorry about this trash. Um, I found some more of Witchy Poo's snacks and stuff. I don't know if you got that. There we go. Yeah, there we go. See if that becomes the icon for the thing. Another trash over here. That beer isn't mine. It's Christie's. I'm saving it for her because I'm a nice guy. I don't drink beer. Great. I can only hold the phone with one hand. That's awesome. It's good that I get to relax my arm periodically. Sorry, just woke up. Blah blah blah. Probably a bad idea because like the other point of this video is kind of like self-detrimental, but the main thing I noticed about all the videos, sorry, phase two, no segue, about the videos I was watching last night. Oh gosh, I just need a break for a second. It's like I'm holding my arm up like this, so it's not comfortable to do for 15 straight minutes. Anyway, so one of the things about the whole like, oh, we're gonna decide, whether or not you're crazy and then come get you for your own protection. People kept hearing guns, blah 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 blah. I don't go on the internet with guns. I don't have guns, and it just seems like a bad idea. It's one thing if you're like, a Hickok 45 and you got like a gun show, where you talk about guns and stuff. But if you're like, were it me, and I'd be, oh yeah, here's my, here's my Glock 40, cool, huh? Like it would not go over well. But the thing that rung out in my mind, because once again, I'm not a gun owner, so the whole like, oh, don't show pictures of guns, yeah, duh, obviously, was the isolationist. If you're socially isolated, that's a red flag now. As Christians, we are all going to be socially isolated because we want no part of what's going on. We don't watch TV. We don't take part in these groups. We don't take we don't sign petitions. We don't do any of that crap because we know it's crap, and we don't take part in the world. So we're going to be considered socially isolated. So while everyone was freaking out about, oh, guns, they're gonna, take our guns or whatever, moot point. I think Richie from Boston said it best when he said the technology they have is so much above guns, it doesn't matter. And it really doesn't. A slug thrower is not really gonna do much to if they're blasting us with even a sound cannon. And the stuff I've seen myself, I don't know if it's liquid metal, I don't know if it's like, metamorphic, like tiny, like nano 666 tiny. It is impossible to do this without using the rest of your fingers, unless yeah. So I don't know. Sorry, sorry to any of people counting my timestamps and everything else and being like, all that. Um, but yeah, nano. I don't know if it's nano machines. Because they have tiny machines, but the technology they have is incredible. Um, so that if anything, they want us to have guns to all kill each other with. But anyway, the thing that struck me as red flag city for that was the whole socially isolated. So no more videos about me talking about how I'm lonely, I guess, and so excuse me. Beep beep. So yeah, that's like I said. Like what else is what else is there to say about it? Major red flag. Us being Christians, us being truthers, whatever. Um, we don't take part in society, so we're gonna be deemed socially alienated, which means you're a crazy person and need to be rounded up, according to Megyn Kelly. And that bitch and her fake outrage, I hate fake outrage. I hate it. It like makes me sick. I mean, I don't know. As we get closer to the end, these things are more apparently things to me. What was it? I was at my parents' house. And, I guess Wendy Williams does like a home shopping thing, and like I was looking at Wendy Williams, and it's like she doesn't look human at all. Like nothing about Wendy Williams looks remotely human. Like she's trying to pretend to be human, like kind of like how like what's her face Hillary Clinton, with the like they're overreacting because they don't know how to be human, like they can't act human. Wendy Williams just looks like a giant like thing. Her eyes don't look real, her expressions don't look real, her movements don't look real. Meow. This is the portion of the day where Liberty wanders around the house yowling, and it has really confusing body language. See this? Meow. Meow. She'll flop like that and then get really mad when you touch her belly. Doesn't it sound like she's mad right now? I don't think she's in heat. She's like, she's old. I think she's too old to be in heat. But who knows? I could totally see. You're so cute. See Witchy Poo not getting her fixed, which isn't fair. Meow. Meow. I'm Oh. think cats, I don't know. Meow. They breed too much, and then they create more cats, and then they end up in shelters, and they get killed and stuff. So that's not really nice. And it seems to me when cats are in heat, they're in agony. If you ever see a cat in heat, it seems like they're not having a good time. Boo. Well, being here, so I'm talking so much. I'm talking too much. She doesn't like it. Yeah. For anyone watching, no, that is not Skittles. That is Witchy Poo's cat Liberty. That I'm watching. But anyway. Oh wow, what a I'm 21 minutes in now. Apparently, what a rambly video. Gosh, what a beautiful day. But anyway, yeah. So now apparently being socially isolated means you're a danger. It doesn't mean that you just don't want to have anything to do with anybody. Oh, I guess if you don't want anything to have anything to do with anybody, you must want to kill all of them. That's what that means. Because people watch movies and video games and see all this crap and they think it's so easy to kill somebody. They don't understand. I don't know. People don't live in reality, so it's very, very easy to program people nowadays because you just give them a narrative, and since they have no base for reality, they just yeah that makes sense. So many things have just led to this. Go watch a fail. Some like crazy fails, like like expensive fails, or stuff like that, and watch how often people are like, "Did that really happen? Is this happening? Is that real?" People don't have a basis for reality anymore. It's gone. Schools did it. The fact that people think that they live on a spinning ball when it clearly is not a spinning ball. I don't know. Physics, space, they just don't understand how things operate. And then you tell then they think, then they study, sociopolitics and crap like that, and they don't, they're not giving the full story there either. So people just don't understand how anything works. So they have no basis for reality. So when you give them a narrative, they they accept it almost immediately because it makes sense to them, because nothing makes sense. They're not able to question anything because they don't have a measurement. They don't have a standard for what is real, basically. But anyway, be prepared for people to come knocking on your door now, because you don't want to take, because you don't watch football and go out and waste all your money on beers at a bar or whatever else regular people do that you don't do because you recognize it as stupid. So there's that. Yeah, that recurring dream is just getting weirder and darker. It's very real. Like, most of my dreams are pretty visceral, but that dream is that recurring dream is, I'm basically living it every time I have it. And it's articulating. Just scary. It's getting deeper and darker and getting more. There's just every time it's the same dream, but there's more detail. Oh, here I almost forgot. Listen to what the ad was. When I said in the dream there's a pig, they did a huge ad. It was like a commercial across the whole sky. It was for The Simpsons. Isn't that weird? I haven't watched The Simpsons in like many, many moons. So I thought that was bizarre. Weird, right? Anyway, that's about it. I'm hitting the 25-minute mark. And I really need to use the bathroom. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day, and God bless you.